What's up, guys? This is Jess Yogel, and I'm your host of the Vibe Dialogue Podcast, a podcast for creatives. And I'm doing a segment that's featuring players from Squid Game Season 2, The Challenge. I was on that, and I'm interviewing a bunch of different people, talking about their stories, getting to know them a little deeper. Also, talking about behind the scenes stuff that you would never know. And so, this is episode number 12, and I'm featuring Ram Noriega, player number 264. He was also in the band Back in Black. It's an AC/DC tribute band. And the whole band, most of the band was in there. You probably recognize him from the game of Catch. And he got out on that saying, "Oh, I've already caught this ball." Anyways, I hope you enjoy this. Again, like, subscribe. All that stuff's going to be super helpful to help me grow this channel. I want to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can start monetizing, making some money. Ultimately, I want to help creatives. And that's the idea, is to make this world a better place. And I think you'll really resonate with this interview, as Ram is completely in alignment with that. And yeah, so without further ado, enjoy. All right, guys, this is the Vibe Dialogue Podcast. It's a podcast for creatives. I'm your Hogel, and I'm also doing a special segment on my time in the Squid Games, The Challenge Season 2. And I have a really special guest that was on the challenge. We got out the same day. This is Ram Noriega, player number 264. What's up, Ram? How are you doing?
Jesse, so good to see you, man.
Yeah, you too, dude. It's been like almost a year, and man, what a wild thing that was that we went through, huh?
It's such a wild ride, man. It's something I think anybody who knows me, I think I maybe posted about this, but I'm not a big social media guy either. We were talking before the interview about, you're not an actual content creator.
Yeah.
I was thinking, if I was ever to gain any kind of traction, maybe from the Squid Game thing, maybe I could do some, try to do the content creator thing and maybe, post some lessons online or tutorials.
Yeah.
And man, let me tell you, dude, that I could not imagine that. I've gained a whole new respect for content creators because I'll open just from the little, extra that I've gotten from Squid Game. I'll open, say, Facebook or Instagram or something, and I'll see all the notifications pop up.
Yeah.
I'll read it, and all it does is my anxiety just goes through the roof. I get completely overwhelmed, Jesse, and I'll just fuck this. I just close it out and go on with it. Go on with it. And so I couldn't imagine being a content creator where that shit's just constantly popping up on every.
Yeah. It's funny because you're a performer and you obviously like being on stage, right?
No, I love being on stage, but
Yeah.
it's a weird thing because I suffer. Even doing this right here with you, I think it's so cool because you're one of the cooler people in the dorm, and I love you, man. You're awesome. The whole first challenge. I don't know if we're going to talk about it with the X, dude. Mike and I were talking about it the other day. We wish you had gotten more credit for that.
Yeah.
But I love being on stage, but I have pretty bad social anxiety stuff, and like when we go play, we do have some meet and greets after our shows, and sometimes they're rather large. We'll play bigger venues. Like coming up in January, we have all these Live Nation views. We're playing, House of Blues. This is stuff we've always played, but these are right in a row. Plus with my other band that I have, I'm doing both shows. I'm an Van Halen tribute and an AC/DC tribute.
That's crazy.
We're doing, the Aztec Theater in San Antonio, which is this huge, great theater. House of Blues, Houston, all these, big venues. So when we do those, the meet and greet lines are pretty long. People want to come take pictures and get autographs or whatever, which it's just always weird to me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get I'm unable to do those things, and I feel bad because I feel like maybe these people are like, well, does this guy think he's some big shot? Like what an asshole, he's not coming out.
Right.
But it's just sometimes and I've gotten better about it over the years. I've been in Back in Black for 10 years now, and but man, there's still certain, before it was I would never go out, and then I would, as the years go by, I would do these meet and greets more and more. but still to this day, 10 years later, sometimes I'll be in the green room and I'll peek out and I'll see how many people are in line, and I just can't go out. I just can't do it.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I eat up on that shit. I love that shit.
I wish I did, man. I wish I did. And there's nothing wrong with it. I just,
No, no, totally.
it's
You
something
know what?
that's over me, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I just can't do it. I'm just going to sit in this green room.
Right. Yeah, totally. That's funny. It's just, everyone has a different relationship with society, and there's someone in your band that will definitely take that place, I'm sure. So it's like, don't worry about I was saying I play with this musician, Blessing Chimanga. He's the most captivating person I've ever played music with. Like when you're in his show, you're in his world. Like you cannot not be in it, and he's one of those people that like uh you know he will take all that he can get, and but he really manifests it in this really beautiful way where like people coming out of the show, they almost feel like they're transformed in some way. And so it's like, hey, if there's a person in my group that can like really connect on a deeper level, then albeit like that makes sense. And we all have different roles in music, and maybe your role is not going out and greeting all the fans. Your role is like anchoring the band, at whatever, what I'm saying. So it's like everyone's got a role to play. It's nice though when there's at least one or two people in the band that are like outgoing, that can really connect with the fans.
Well, I think that all four other guys in the band are totally like that.
Yeah.
And you talk about, but my role in the band is perfect because I don't know how much you know about AC/DC,
Yeah.
but I play the role of Malcolm Young, who is the rhythm guitar player,
Yeah.
or lead guitar player, Angus.
Yeah.
And my role, I do that. The Malcolm role is to sit back by my amp, and you're not, no showmanship. You just sit there,
Yeah.
and play rhythm, and when it's time to sing, we go up. Me and the bass player, we go up to the mic, do our vocal part, and then we go straight back in front of our amps. And that's the role. That role was made for me, man. So I really lucked out getting that role. But yeah,
I always think of music, and like I always think of like music as being like similar to like a basketball team in a way. There was it's five people, and like if you have a really good basketball team, there's got to be some role players on that team that know their role. And those are always the teams that win the championships and stuff. It's like, if everyone's like a scorer, it's like, well, who's like anchoring this down? And of course, I'm the bass player, so my perspective is I'm often in that role, like support role. And it's like this band has to sound good first before there's any of that. So, but yeah, I think you're very much needed, and you're as important as anyone else in the band. And just people don't necessarily from the outside perspective see that and know that. So you have to put that in humility.
Basketball analogy, because that's like, okay, well, I'm Steve Kerr then. Well,
Yeah.
that's a super old. I'm an old man. That's a super old reference, but
No, I'm right there with you. Yeah. So, man, well, so like, yeah, I thought it was for one, this is crazy, but you don't realize. So going back to like the Squid Games and stuff, like, I had no clue you guys were in a band together, and you guys did such a good job of hiding that. But like, obviously you were hanging out together, but like, it just seemed like a natural fit, like I was hanging out with you guys too, and other people, like, Zach, I think was, hanging out with you guys too. So, and I actually did.
Zach.
Yeah, Zach's great, right? I did an interview with Zach because I found what he was doing pretty interesting. He's in like 5 bands in Mississippi, and he mentioned he was like, well, the coolest guys in the whole dorm was Ram.
Yeah.
So it's like, so it just seemed like, oh, there was just some people that were like, kind of more down to earth, like real people, creatives, artists. We all were like, we all talked about music, and that we all played music and stuff, so
Right.
we already had like a connection there. So I did, but yeah, you guys did such a good job, but like nobody knew, so
That was the plan going in, it is too, because we didn't want to have a target on our back, and the whole plan was to, that we didn't know each other. But once we got in, we realized, well, shit, everybody made friends at the hotel,
Yeah.
and at the airport. We
Yeah.
met a lot of people. We met. I'm not going to go over all the names, but we met a
Yeah.
bunch of people at the airport, and so we're thinking, once we got in the dorm, we're like, man, fuck it, we're not going to like you stand way over there and you stand way over there. It's like people are just going to assume we made friends at the hotel, because we still like
Yeah.
when we talk about Mike, we still refer to him as Mike from Chicago or Steven from San Antonio. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Good
In the
call.
end, it
Good
didn't even
call.
really matter. Like that,
Right.
the way they edited it.
Yeah.
Not only did they not show that we were in a band together, but they didn't even show that we were friends.
I
So
know, right? And like I obviously was talking about talking to Michael earlier and just being like talking about like how there's so many like things that obviously they have to edit all this content from 3 weeks down to you know 12 episodes or 10 episodes or whatever it is, so they have to figure out what they're cutting out. But it's interesting where they pick to be like, oh, we're going to focus on this father and daughter. But man, the story of a band being in there is like, what? How did you not like that's the coolest story. But I maybe just because
we were really surprised.
yeah, like you didn't make it that far. They were like, but like, they had stories of people who didn't make it that far either. So there's, I think one of the things that we can do here just on this, like, connection is just like talk about some of the stuff that really happened, or that we think's important or we thought was interesting. You know, and I think like one of the things that, I know Michael did he did a post on Instagram and stuff. It was like, hey, this is what really happened at the counting game. So we talked about that, like, like, hey, there was this group of people that were involved. But my question, and you already answered it, is like, there was you guys were in a band together, and Michael was the one who stepped up with me to do the clapping. Did you want to be involved in that? Were you like,
No,
okay,
no, I thought maybe our drummer should have been involved.
yeah,
He's a drummer.
yeah,
But then we laid back. We saw that you guys had it under control up front. We trusted Mike. Obviously didn't know you real well at that point. It was the first day. But we trusted Mike. We're just gonna we did. It was already chaos in there. We
yeah,
didn't want to add to that mayhem and like fight our way to the front. And here's a drummer. He needs to do it.
yeah.
So so we thought you guys had that under control. But as far as me personally, I wanted nothing to do with having the fate of 200 some odd people in my hand. I'll pass on that.
That's funny. Yeah, yeah. Because I was wondering, I was like, yeah, you were, and I forget what was your drummer's name again.
Oh,
That's right. Was wondering, why, he wasn't there. But I did like, I kind of asserted myself in that situation. And, you know, because I knew like, dude, I just might, because I teach lessons at 60 BPM. Every student cannot go past the next thing unless they can play at 60 BPM. Every warm up, every exercise is 60 BPM. That's like my fundamental core value as teaching music.
but you were made for that
Dude,
competition.
I know. I was like, wow. And I couldn't believe they didn't tell the story. It's like it's a funny thing. Yeah. So like, obviously they left out like that you guys were in this band together. They left out that story. That was a big deal. What else do you think that do you feel like was kind of like a moment that they could have told more or like highlighted?
Well, I don't know. I think just the band thing, that blows me away. I was really, really surprised they edited it that way because if nothing else, um, they could have shown it would have been seemed like it would have been good TV, good drama when to show that at least Mike and I were really good friends, at least really good friends, because when he went up for elimination, I went up to I loved at the time I was mad and I was upset with a lot of people
Mhm.
and I was really upset with Kurt. But I love Kurt, love Zoe. But at the time, we had made a bit of an alliance with the green cohorts. How we had the cohorts at the hotel, and so the green cohorts are going to stick together, especially this core group of green cohorts. And that was uh, Kurt was kind of leading that whole thing, that whole charge. So when it was time for Mike to go up to get eliminated, I went straight to Kurt. I was like, all right, let's do this. We got to get all the green, where are all the green cohorts? And I could see in his face, he was like, not going to do it. And it was because he was afraid that if these five didn't get voted out, that it would be the next slowest at each of those competitions. And he felt that Zoe took a long time doing the cards and that maybe she was going to go for elimination next. But I was super upset. I'm like, I'm crying like an idiot, then at that point, when I saw that he wasn't going to do that, I was fighting for Mike. I was going to everybody, people I didn't know, trying to campaign to let's leave him in. He's the reason we're here.
Yeah.
And but so it seems like if nothing else, they could have shown that, oh, here's either his bandmate or good friend.
Yeah.
And look, he's crying. He's over there fighting for Mike to be. So I thought surely that was all going to be shown, but hey, it didn't show jack shit.
Dude, that sucks. And I just thought that was interesting because that was a good point. I didn't actually think of it as being okay, if you don't vote those five out, then you got to vote the next five.
Yeah.
I never thought about it in that way until actually I talked to Claire, and actually Claire was one of the people I were on the bus with from the very beginning, but she was player 409 and she made it pretty far, all the way to the end. To the boxes on the desk.
Circle of Trust.
Yeah, Circle of Trust. Yeah. And so she was like, I voted X because I thought they're gonna make us vote somebody else. So might as well just get it over with.
Yeah.
But my thought was let the game take these people out. We don't need to take anyone out. So I would never I voted I was right there with you but not only did Michael help save all of you, but we don't need to take these people out. Let's just keep hanging out. Let's let the game do it. It's gonna do it. They're gonna So that was an interesting thing, and it was funny watching people, get some enjoyment out of that. Some people
Okay.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna say, I think. And this was, if they would have shown my interviews, I would have been an absolute villain. But I did 10 interviews. They didn't show one. That's fine.
Yeah, me too.
And I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to jump in because I wonder if it's the same people. So there were two people who I was friendly with and I thought were really cool. And I was so pissed at the time. I'm fine now. It's all part of the game. I love everybody. There's nobody I have an actual problem with.
Yeah.
But at the time, because that's my friend, that's my bandmate of 10 years up there, very like a brother.
Yeah.
Up on stage. And here comes the first one was Chris. I forget, he made it to Circle of Trust too.
Yeah.
But we were good friends. I thought he was super cool. But the way he did the whole, I forget the guy's name on the actual Squid Game show who skipped, but he was doing an homage to that.
Yeah.
He skipped to the thing and hit the voting button with his head.
Yeah.
I was fuming, dude. And then Viper, he goes up and he sachets all the way up to the thing, all flamboyant and votes that way. And I'm in my interviews, I was like, man, I hope I get the chance to eliminate those motherfuckers in the most vicious way. But I was mad. It was in the game. Me, I lost myself a little bit in the dorm.
Yeah.
So I love Chris, love Viper, love Kurt, all those people. In real life, I don't actually have a problem with them. But man, at the time, I was pissed. I was so mad.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah. And then, we got out in the same night, with the throwing game, the catch or gas, catch. We got out and man, what a bummer. So my question is, do you have any trauma from that? Because I felt some.
And 100%.
Yeah.
I asked him to please lob it because we were really far, from each other. I asked him to please lob it so I could get underneath it, and insisted on throwing overhand. And I think that's, it hit me in the hands. I should have caught it. It's my fault. I'm not blaming Ryan. Although I've seen a lot of comments online saying it was a shitty throw. He should have thrown it underhanded. And I'm like, I know I asked him to throw it underhanded. Yeah. Ryan, if you see this, all good, man. It's what, But he threw it overhanded. So it hit my hand kind of hard and bounced off. And, I was sleep deprived. starving. I've been
Sick.
standing forever. I basically had broken my foot. I had a bad sprain on my foot. And so standing there for hours, however long we were standing there, I was just ready to get it over with and let's do this.
Yeah.
So that coupled with the overhand throw, it's kind of hard, just bounced off. But yeah, I have. Let me give you an example of some of the trauma that it gave me. So when we play live, there's there's a song called "Have a Drink on Me." Right after the solo, kind of does this rocking out thing. So this was not long after the dorm. So Mike gets over by me, and he's rocking out, and he has he wears the Angus Young hat.
Mm.
So he'll flip his hat up like that, and then I catch it on my headstock, right? So that's just a normal thing we do on every show. So that was not long after the dorm. He did that, and here comes the hat, and it hit the headstock, and it just fell on the ground. And it immediately took me back to the dorm, dropping the ball. I was like, oh,
Dude.
no.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the trauma's there for sure.
Yeah, I was like, dude, like I'm pretty chill and pretty calm, and like this would I could have like messed with me, like man.
Yeah. How far was your? Did you miss the ball or did you throw it and they missed it?
So Zach was throwing to me, and everyone was
you
like,
and Zach?
yeah, and
I'll have to read because I only watched it once because it's like just I don't know. It's a bit even though I love Perla, she was on my pentathlon team. When I left the dorm, I predicted she was going to win.
yeah,
I love her. We became really good friends at the hotel. We had a lot of meals together.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for her, but at the same time, it's still like I felt like I was going to win. I'm sure a lot of people did.
Yeah.
But it's still like a real watching it over. It's just like, oh God, it's just all such kind of a punch in the gut. I only watched it once, and I was kind of barely watching, so I didn't even notice it was you and Zach.
Yeah. No, and like it was me and Viper and Chris were like, hey, just throw it up, give us a chance, just throw it way up, and I'll come find it, because I was the third one to the back, so pretty far back. I was right next to Viper, and we're like, just throw it up. And Zach's like, I'd rather throw it overhand. We're like, dude. And, we're like, dude, throw it up, just loft it in the air, give me some hang time. And then Zach threw it underhand, but he said, man, he's like, he wanted to wish he would have just thrown it overhand because he would have placed it perfectly. But anyways, it was way short. I'm diving and I dive and like miss it. And I mean, like, I'm pretty, my depth is pretty big on there, but it's like, they show me diving and, and then my, vest pops and stuff. But, and yours was, they gave you a decent amount of screen time. You're like, yeah, I've got this. I've already caught it,
Yeah.
So it's like, man, yeah. Wow, whatever. What can we do?
What do you do, man?
What would you like? How did the money change your life?
Oh my God, dude! I'm such a simple person as far as material things, and like, man, it would have changed my life so much, man. I have a partially disabled wife, and she can't work. I would have done everything I can to make sure her life is as comfortable as it could possibly be. I already treat her like a queen, but she would have been like, the next level. We've I know how. I know the whole thing is, how do you tell somebody's vegan? Well, they'll let you know. Well, I'm vegan. I've been vegan for 15 years. And the main thing that my wife and I would have done with the money is we would have worked in partnership with my favorite organization is probably Gentle Barn or Farm Sanctuary. There are a couple of the bigger ones. I would have helped them out financially. Would have talked to the owners and about how to establish my own farm sanctuary. I would have started a farm sanctuary, saved all the farm animals, and most likely cats. We have 4 cats, so most likely some kind of a cat sanctuary as well. And I would have just lived my remaining days working on the farm. And Operation Smile is another big one for me. I don't know if you know what that is, but there's a lot of people born with a cleft lip.
Hmm.
and it just looks bad, and for I think it's like uh, the surgeries are like $100 or something. It's pretty simple, but there's all these people, and in other countries can't afford it. And there's a organization called Operation Smile. I would have donated. People would have had to stop me from donating like fucking all of it. Like I would want all those people to have that surgery, but man, I just hope Perla, and I know she shared it with Jeff. Hope they do good things with the money. Obviously, you take care of yourself, buy yourself a couple of things, but I hope they do
Hmm.
good. Hope
Yeah,
they
me
do good.
too. Well, that's cool. I mean, you definitely had a just cause. Not everyone has that. And like, and you can tell that instantly, like they're, like from the very beginning, I was like, this person's a very genuine, good human. And like, everyone was a good person, good human in there, but like, not everyone has the same want or desire to help the world. I think a lot of people that were on there, maybe close to a half or a third, were more in it to self-serve, you know?
Yeah,
And
I think you're right.
and you can kind of see it, and then there's also people that are just young and just kind of making their way in life and not sure where they're going to go and like, shoot, I'll just be on this thing, but like, that's too bad one of us didn't win that, but if we get something out of it, obviously, it seems like it's going to bring some attention to your bands, which is Back in Black, right?
Yeah.
Which is cool. And you guys are doing some fun stuff musically. And it sounds like you have another project. You said it's a Van Halen tribute band.
Yeah, I'm in a Van Halen tribute. It's with Paul, who was also on the show, the drummer, and Steven, who was our bass player, also on the show. And then we have a lead singer who wasn't on the show and is not on Back in Black. So three of the four members of the ACDC tribute are in my Van Halen tribute called Mean Street. And we're going to start doing a lot of looks like a lot of shows with Back in Black opening the show. Like I said, Live Nation has reached out to us, and they're already sponsoring four of the shows in January. Our first four shows in
That's
January.
amazing. That's amazing.
Bigger venues, all at least 1,000-seat venues.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
it's
great.
really
So like
exciting.
it sounds like that definitely kind of helped launch. It'll give you at least not a launch. You guys have been doing this for 10 years. It's not like you needed a launch, but like it helped like bring some more eyes and get you to into like some area where you could be playing in front of more people and telling your story and stuff. And so that's cool. Do you have and you also have an original project too, right?
Yeah, we have an original project called Stripwired.
Yeah.
That's just all the members of Back in Black doing some original music. Sounds like ACDC. You can find it on Spotify.
Yeah, cool.
And I think probably Apple too. I don't do Apple to iTunes,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. And then do you play guitar, but you play rhythm guitar in the Back in Black, but do you also play like lead guitar and things like that, or
Yeah, because I'm Eddie in the
oh, you are, so you're a shredder then. Yeah,
so people trip out because they see me. We have a lot of regular fans that come
yeah.
out and they see me just back there laying it down, rhythm all night long, for years. And then I started my Van Halen tribute a couple of years ago, and then they'll come out and like, holy shit, we didn't know you could do all that.
Yeah.
But
Dude, yeah, I mean, that's insane. That's cool. Like, that's really cool.
a lot of
I
fun.
also see you have a bass in the background. It looks like, do you play bass as well?
Well, okay, so I'm a metalhead. I like super heavy music. I like all kinds of music, but I grew up on heavier stuff. So my before we when we go to Van Halen or Mean Street rehearsals, I'll get there early sometimes, and Paul and I work on heavy original music. So we're hoping to get in the studio, sometime. We're both so busy, but we're hoping at some point to get in the studio and record some of our heavy originals. And so I just bought the bass to so once we get in, so I could first of all write some bass lines over what I'm
Mhm.
doing,
Yeah.
and just record the bass myself once we get in the studio.
Oh, cool, cool, awesome.
That's a lot of fun. I haven't played bass in, gosh, many, many, many years, and I bought that such a beautiful looking bass too.
Mm.
And I forgot how it's like really fun.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm impartial. I'm biased. I think it's like the best instrument, but so like just as far as like, do you like, just curious about you a little bit more. So do you have like another job, or do you just do music, or what else do you do?
Yeah, man. I've been in the corporate world my whole life. I'm in I work at a bank. I just celebrated 13 years at a bank, which is weird because I see a lot of long haired,
Yeah.
hippie dudes,
Yeah.
working at the bank. But I've been there 13 years. 10 of those years I worked remotely,
Hmm.
and it's the perfect situation. I'm
Yeah.
grateful to God every single day that I don't have to commute. Like we'll do South Texas. Like say we're doing a South Texas show. Like last week we played San Antonio. I'm in
Yeah.
Dallas. Just making that drive on a Friday afternoon down to San
Oh
Antonio
yeah.
and even coming back on Sunday, it's like I, it's like I don't even get like any kind of road ragey type feelings.
Yeah.
It's more like, oh my God, you poor people, you have to do this every day for work. So I'm super, super beyond grateful. I think, I count my blessings every day. I thank God every day that I get to work from home for the past 10 years. Great job. I don't, I've been there for so long. I had so much paid time off that when I do need to take time, because, our band, Back in Black, we do 80 to 100 shows a year. So we're really, really, really busy.
Yeah.
We'll do stuff like, last year we went to Hawaii. So I like take a week off to go to Hawaii. We played in Honolulu and Maui.
That's awesome.
So luckily I have enough time to where I go in, I submit my time, it's automatically approved. I don't have to ask anybody.
Mhm.
So I have the absolute perfect situation. It's amazing.
That's
I
cool.
love it. I'm super, super grateful.
Awesome. That's awesome. Man, well, I really appreciate your time here, and it's been great to get to know you. And I think like, um, you know, I would, like I said, I really wanted to reach out to like all the music, all the not all the just musicians, but creatives that are in that challenge, and just like have a little bit more insight, and then kind of talk a little shop. Also, bring a little light to what you're doing musically, because there's some people that are doing some really cool things, and like I think your guys' story is really really cool, and I wish it would have been told more. And of
Yeah,
course,
me too.
I wish I would have got a little more, airtime and all that stuff for like, the challenge that we did that helped everyone get through to the next level. But it doesn't roll like that. But we can obviously talk about that online and all that. But I was telling Michael T, man, I live in Colorado. If you guys are ever in Colorado, come out, say hi. I know you might. It sounds like you guys had played some shows in Colorado in the past. So stay in touch and let me know when you're like rolling through and playing some tribute show, and I can't wait to be at the show.
For sure, man. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome to have you out, man.
Yeah. So, well, without further ado, this is, I think this is concludes, perhaps to put a bow on the conversation. Thanks for taking some time out. Again, this is the Vibe Dialogue podcast, where we're here with, Ram player. Remind me what player number you were again.
264.
264, that's right. And member of Back in Black, but was a member of many other things. Where can we find the band, like on socials and stuff, or how can we find the band?
You can find Back in Black. You can find us on Facebook at Back in Black. God, I hope I get this right. Back in Black Dallas. I think that you'll be able to see it there. And on Instagram, TikTok, it's at Real Back in Black, and that's Back in Black. And then my Mean Street tribute, you can find us, just search DFW, like Dallas Fort Worth, Mean Street on Instagram or Facebook, and you'll find us. Oh, and
Awesome.
don't forget to watch our Back in Black has a documentary called My Stupid Tribute Band. You can find it on all streaming networks except for Netflix.
Yeah, man, we got to get it on Netflix. What the hell? Can you guys pitch it? Can you go like?
That's all.
Yeah, like,
I don't know.
yeah, you got to hit Studio Lambert up, man. All right. Well, thank you so much, Ram. I appreciate it. And again, this is Vibe Dialogue Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Ogle. We'll see you again next time. Hopefully you enjoyed the interview, and go follow their band, check them out. And again, also follow, like, and subscribe this channel. You can also find my music. It's, New Bass Theory. You can follow me at Jesse Ogle Music. And yeah, click the bell icon to get notified, all that good stuff, and share this as much as you can. All right. Until next time, we'll see you.